The man followed online videos and studied assassination techniques every day. Then he went to a shooting range to improve his shooting skills. He also worked out using gym equipment. These monotonous days had continued for a year. He bought a car with his money and reinforced it. Then he went to the black market to buy a large number of weapons and equipment. When everything was ready, he snuck into the police station and took photos of all the gang members. To avenge his son's brutal death, the man was always ready. At this moment, his wife watched everything unfold. She couldn't stand it any longer and chose to leave. But this didn't affect the man. Half a month later, he arrived at the gang's hideout. He documented everything with his camera. The man was John, the gang leader, who was also the man's ultimate target. Before leaving, the man took a photo of Alan's car license plate, planning to kill Alan first. So under the cover of night, he sneaked into Alan's house. Alan heard some noise and came out to check. Unexpectedly, the man knocked him out and he fell down the stairs. When Alan woke up, he found himself at the man's home. At this point, the man appeared, cut the ropes binding Alan, and then pulled him to the table. The man took out paper and a pen and made Alan write down answers to all the questions. After reading the questions, Alan angrily cursed. The man taught him a lesson. The man thought Alan had learned his lesson, but unexpectedly Alan suddenly stood up, pushed the man away, and used a knife to cut his restraints. Then Alan stabbed the man in the shoulder. Although the man had practiced for a year, he was clearly inexperienced compared to Alan. But even though he had been stabbed multiple times, he didn't give up. He used all his strength to wrestle with Alan. He managed to push Alan down and picked up a screwdriver, stabbing it into Alan's leg. When Alan tried to get up, the man shoved him into the kitchen. Thinking about his son's tragic death, the man felt a surge of power. After a violent struggle, the man finally subdued Alan. That night, the man prepared his equipment. He chose to act that day because his son had been murdered exactly 1 year ago. So he took Alan to the sheriff responsible for the case. He left an envelope on Alan's body. Inside the envelope was a USB drive and a card. The sheriff plugged the USB into the computer. It contained all the criminal evidence the man had gathered about the gang over the past year. Not only that, he had also clearly marked all the addresses. The questionnaire that Alan had filled out was also in the USB drive. As the sheriff was in shock, the man had already arrived at the gang's gathering place, ready to take his revenge.